back with another video, doing something new this time, a little film breakdown. I don't know if I'm going to get screwed over with copyright or whatever, but fair use, educational reasons. I'll be using a video that the March Madness YouTube account posted, the final 1 minute, 44 seconds from Fairleigh Dickinson's legendary upset over Purdue. And what I want to break down here is what transpired in these final minutes. Obviously, this doesn't tell the story of the entire game, but there's a lot of discussion on Matt Painter, Purdue for losing to North Texas, St. Peter's, and Fairleigh Dickinson now in 3 straight tournaments, and how the team with the number 1 average height in the country lost to the team that is the shortest, where one team has a 7'4" National Player of the Year, and the other team's tallest dude is 6'7". Matt Painter's an awesome coach, right? Of course, he deserves some blame, but from an X and O's perspective, I thought he put his players in positions to succeed, and I thought his guys didn't execute. So we're going to jump right into that, starting off with Purdue inbounding the ball into their own basket, 7 seconds on the shot clock. They're down 3, 1:44 on the clock. So like I said, Matt Painter's a great X's and O's coach. Inbounding this play under the basket, what is happening? So Mason Gillis curls to set another screen for Braden Smith. Braden Smith is open in the corner. That's option 2 on this play. Option 2 on the play is to go to a wide open Braden Smith in the corner. But option 1, of course, is to get it into your tower, is to get into Zach Edey, who can catch the ball and finish. Fairleigh Dickinson's got 2-3 bodies on him, right? Well, they've got 2 bodies on, and the third one comes over. But this is a good pass from Fletcher Lawyer. And Zach Edey, because he's massive, gets his hands on it. But he brings it down a little bit, and a great defensive play by Fairleigh Dickinson, and he pokes the ball out. Reminds me a lot of the way Northwestern was able to just consistently strip Zach Edey at the end of games. That was only one of Zach Edey's 2 turnovers, though. A lot of the times he didn't even receive the pass, so that's not his turnover. But a great play to knock that ball out of Zach Edey's hands. And Fairleigh Dickinson's out and running in transition. Nice little Euro step and finish there from Sean Moore, due to average 7 points a game this year, and made 3 massive plays down the stretch. And all of a sudden, Fairleigh Dickinson is up 5 points. Minute 30 to go. It's go time for Purdue. So Braden Smith gets the ball here, minute 30 to go. Fairleigh Dickinson extending some full court pressure. Braden Smith has 7 turnovers in this game at this point. And he's dribbling, risky, very risky, goes for the split of the defenders. And that ball is very far out in front of him. But credit to him, he does a great job getting that split, continuing to dribble across the midline, and finding a wide open Fletcher Lawyer in the corner for 3. That's as good of a look as you're going to get. Down 5 with a minute 30 on the clock. As you can see, the score graphic, 0 points in the last 5:40 for Purdue. And look at the shot they get. You got to make that, Fletcher Lawyer, and he does. That's a 33% three-point shooter. He's hit some big shots this season, and he sticks that one. So Fairleigh Dickinson's gamble to pressure there backfired, but not going to criticize it because it worked a lot of the time. And that was how Tobin Anderson wanted to play, and they were willing to live or die by that. But something to point out, if you can see, Braden Smith was a little out of control as he's making that pass. Easily could have been called for an offensive foul, but it wasn't called. So now Purdue extends some full court pressure themselves. They're down 2. Need to stop here. So Fairleigh Dickinson's obviously going to choose some clock. The floor is spaced. They want to put Zach Edey in a high ball screen. And Grant Singleton's ball handler. And Sean Moore comes and sets the screen at the March Madness logo. Ethan Morton chases over the screen as Zach Edey drops into drop coverage. That leaves Sean Moore wide open at the top of the key for a pick and pop 3. Sean Moore's a 29% three-point shooter on the season. You're usually willing to live with a look from a 29% three-point shooter, right? And you have a massive 7'4" human being on this closeout, jumping and getting his arm up. That's a tough shot to hit. Sean Moore sticks it. This is the moment when the upset felt real to me, and I think a lot of people. And I think Tobin Anderson might have said that as well. But Sean Moore drills that 3, and it's kind of a microcosm of how the game has evolved, because you've got National Player of the Year Oscar Tshiebwe last year and Zach Edey this year, traditional big men who can dominate inside as scorers and as rebounders, but their inability to move and slide their feet makes it hard for them to adapt to the way the game has moved, which is a lot of teams playing with stretch 5s, smaller 5s, or 5s you can just shoot the ball, and it restricts what types of defensive coverages you can do. And that time they drop off Edey, they're willing to give a guy who doesn't shoot the 3 at that percentage a look, which, maybe they're fine with. Maybe he hits that shot less than 3 times out of 10, right? So I guess that is a fine look, but that's why Matt Painter doesn't have Zach Edey on the floor at the end of games sometimes. Okay, so there's a minute to go. Purdue's back's against the wall right now. Have to get a bucket here. And Braden Smith brings the ball up, and you can see Zach Edey come and set this screen at half court. And I heard people saying, why is he doing that? Get your big man by the basket. And I'm on board with that, but it's part of the play. And this is a pretty good play that's drawn up. So Braden Smith brings the ball up and passes to Mason Gillis in the corner, who catches it. He's open in the corner. He's got space. He doesn't even face the basket, right? This is a dude that hit 9 threes in the game earlier this year. This is a dude who shot 41% from deep last year and 36% this year, right? But he's 1 of 7 today. He's not confident, but he's also running the play. But I still think Mason Gillis needs to catch this ball, square the basket, pump fake. It's not the play for him to shoot this ball, but I think he should at least face the basket and look or give a pump fake, because maybe it's a good pump fake. The defender flies into him. Look at all that space baseline. That's a layup. That's a layup. But Mason Gillis catches it, and instead he swings it right away, which is the play, and he gets this ball to Fletcher Loyer. Zach Edey, it's supposed to be some high-low action here. Fairleigh Dickinson is fronting the post, right, to make that pass harder, to make that entry pass more difficult. As Braden Smith is curling around, that is meant as a secondary option and a distraction to pull that help side defender away so that high-low pass to Edey can work without it getting poked out. But guess what? That's not Carson Edwards running off that screen. That's not Ryan Klein. That's not Stefanovic. That's not Jaden Ivey. It's a freshman point guard who is 1 of 6 from three-point land in this game. And that's why his defender can stay tucked in and not chase him. You see, look at David Jenkins and Braden Smith both in the corner right now with only one defender really near them. So Loyer drives the basket, gets his head down and gets fouled, but that ball is supposed to go into Zach Edey. And if Braden Smith was more of a threat, maybe there's more space. Or maybe Fletcher Loyer just needs to throw it up and give Zach Edey a chance. But credit to Fletcher Loyer. He gets the basket, gets fouled. He drills both free throws. So what's next? Under a minute to go. Purdue's down 3. Zach Edey is guarding the ball. That's a hard guy to inbound it past, right? But Edey's got to run all the way back on defense. Could get caught sleeping, could give up an easy basket. Could be an Ali Faroukmanesh situation where it's a 2-on-1. Makes sense probably to kill some time, but just let it fly with confidence. That was a crazy shot. But Fairleigh Dickinson doesn't do that. So they get it in fairly easily. Zach Edey doesn't trap in that corner. And even though they have a 2-on-1, they pull it out smartly to burn this clock. And once again, putting Zach Edey in a high ball screen. But this time, they switch it. So because this coverage is switched, I think this throws off Grant Singleton a little bit. And he's only got 8 seconds on the shot clock. Is there enough time to pull it out and, ISO Zach Edey like you see in the NBA a lot with the small point guard on the big man? But point is, he tries to get all the way to the basket, and that couldn't be any easier of a block for Zach Edey. And little commotion on the sideline, who to go out off of. They say Fairleigh Dickinson on the floor. Video review, love those, of course. Ball is given to Purdue. So, 30 seconds left. Purdue is down 3. It's like a joke on Twitter. Do they need a 3 here? It's like the announcers talk about it every single time in this situation. But no, of course, they don't need a 3 here. You can get a quick 2. So what happens? Ball is inbounded to Braden Smith. Fairleigh Dickinson is still bringing that full court pressure. There's no second defender brought at him, but it's still some intense full court pressure. Now, Zach Edey setting the screen. He's even deeper. He's below half court. He's on the March Madness logo. And Braden Smith brings the ball up. As you can see, Fletcher Loyer setting the screen right above the elbow gets just drilled, gets run into. That's a foul. Foul should have been called there. Nothing's called. Matt Painter has his hands up in the air. Where's the foul? But Braden Smith rattled that. Loyer's on the ground. Edey's still catching up to the play. He picks up his dribble. He doesn't know what to do with it for a couple seconds. Matt Painter says, timeout. That should have been a foul. Braden Smith picked up his dribble. This is a mess. Timeout. So, coming out of this timeout, let's look at the sideline inbounds play that he draws up. The ball is passed into Fletcher Loyer, who dribbles over right in front of the bench to a curling Braden Smith for a dribble handoff. As you can see, Zach Edey has his man sealed off, who, to reiterate for the zillionth time, he's way bigger than. I think this ball should go into Zach Edey right now. Look at the 2 Fairleigh Dickinson defenders on the weak side. They're not even looking at Zach Edey or the basketball. That's not what happens. As you can see, Mason Gillis's man is dropped in around the restricted area. He would be ready to try and rip that ball out from Zach Edey, but that's still a hard play to make. But this ball is handed off to Braden Smith. He takes this massive banana loop-de-loop turn, and even though Sean Moore kind of runs into his man a bit, he's able to catch up to Braden Smith, who takes 2 more dribbles than he should, at least 1, on his way to the basket, that Sean Moore is able to catch up and blocks his shot. It's a great athletic play. But Braden Smith, why are you going up with your right hand? You're on the left side of the basket. You got to go up with your left hand there. Get swatted. Why are you taught to go up with your left hand? I know it's hard. I don't have a left hand. I'm not trying to criticize these guys. They are amazing. I can't do what they do. But you got to go up with your left hand there. You're going to get swatted. You got to take a better angle. You're going to get swatted. Or pass the ball into Zach Edey. I digress. Another chance for Matt Painter to drop a play. 12.5 seconds left. Still don't need a 3 here, right? Still don't need a 3 here. As you can see, Lawyer is inbounding the basketball, and David Jenkins is on the floor. Matt Painter calls timeout. Let's do it again. What's different? Ethan Morton's inbounding the basketball. David Jenkins is not on the floor. Ethan Morton was brought into the game to make this inbounds pass. Zach Edey comes in and screens Mason Gillis's man. Smith and Lawyer exchange. And then Smith sneaks around with a back screen on Zach Edey's man. It's a great play. And look at Zach Edey. Look at the positioning. Look at Ethan Morton's eyes. He's ready to make this pass. This is option number 1. He's your best player. You have an advantage here. Get him the basketball. Matt Painter draws up a great play to get him the basketball. Who's played 2K? Double tap triangle. You run in a circle against the CPU. It works every time. You get the alley-oop. He's 7'4". Throw him the ball, Ethan Morton. You're right there. He's got his hands up. Throw the ball. That's the play. That's the advantage. That's why you're in the game. Throw him the ball. It's a big moment. It's pressure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the pass wasn't there. Maybe I don't have a good enough angle. To me, it looked like the play worked. Get the ball into Zach Edey. He will dunk that. He will either throw down an alley-oop or he'll catch it and dunk it. You can't stop him. Maybe he gets fouled, right? We're almost at 5 seconds now. We're at like 4.8 seconds. You just got to get the ball in at this point. He gets it in to Lawyer in the corner, who, like I said, did 2 things really well in these final 2 minutes. And he catches the ball in the corner, but it's a really tough shot. This is a really tough shot to hit. And, of course, he doesn't make it. And Zach Edey doesn't get the rebound. And Roberts does grab the rebound. That's game. It's over. Make a couple free throws. It's over. 7 seconds left. Fairleigh Dickinson pulls off the impossible. So I don't put that much blame on Matt Painter, right? From that breakdown, I don't really put that much blame on Matt Painter. Am I going to criticize him for having Zach Edey set that screen in midcourt? No, I'm just going to trust that Matt Painter knows more about basketball than me. I know it seems simple. Get your big man right by the basket, but it was part of those plays. One play worked. The second play could have worked, but Lawyer got trucked, and he had to call a timeout. But Matt Painter is a really good coach. He got this team. I know he had a freak, huge guy on his team this year, but considering the freshmen on his team and what they lost last year, to win the Big Ten regular season and tournament and to be a 1 seed, how much can you criticize Matt Painter? These guys didn't execute. And obviously you have to give a massive amount of credit to Fairleigh Dickinson for holding a team that towered over them to 58 points and having a great game plan and attacking and being relentless and playing with confidence. They deserve to win. They're the better team. But that's an inexcusably embarrassing loss for Purdue. Are they going to pull Virginia and win it all next year? I don't know. We'll have to see. But if anyone watched this whole thing, thank you. I hope you learned something from this. I'm just starting YouTube. I've got like 13 subscribers. Hit like, hit subscribe. Why not? Enjoy the rest of the madness. More videos to come. Yeah, you just witnessed history.